I got an issue with people pretending they like what they don't. Please don't bring up my issues unless you gon' deal with your own. Please don't try to pretend like you keep it real though. Yeah, it's funny that you got a lot of money, but that money doesn't buy you skills though. I don't care if I am on the billboards, on the killing spree, I'm about to kill more. Got a chain on you pay the mill for. I mean, what?
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy VeLL, back with another Mobile Legends tips and tricks video. This time around, we're going to be talking about being a jungler in Mobile Legends and how to be the best possible jungler. But first, I'd like to ask you all to please leave a like on this video if you find it helpful, because it really helps the channel out, and I like to think that that helps the community out. But starting off, you need to understand the role and responsibilities of a jungler. A jungler, as the title suggests, will spend the bulk of his time in the jungle. Because that's the case, you won't be able to level up like the rest of your team, since it's not in your job description to farm minions. Instead, you'll focus on monsters in the jungle. That's how a jungler keeps up with the rest of his team in levels and goals. When you're a jungler, it works best if you find yourself a farming flow instead of just running around randomly. Have a set route and path you'd like to follow, and make sure that routine is efficient. Now, this routine should change on a per match basis due to the fact you have other responsibilities outside of farming. Those responsibilities involve a term known as ganking. A gank is simply put a surprise attack. While you're going through the jungle farming, you should always be practicing mini-map awareness. Watch your team on the mini-map, watch the enemies they're encountering also. If you see one of the lanes are being pushed very aggressively, that's the perfect lane to target for a gank. When players are passive, it's because they're focused on survival and not being caught off guard. They just want to farm and become fed. When players are aggressive, on the other hand, they usually are thirsty for the kill, so they're easier to surprise. Also, they're probably pushed up far enough where they won't be able to make it back to their tower in time before you can get the kill. That's actually the most favorable time for a jungler to attack, when they're really far pushed up and it's just an easy kill. But there are some situations where it's best to just jump out and challenge immediately. One example of that would be if your teammate is about to die and you're in a good position to save them. If it's possible to save your teammate, that always takes priority over getting a kill, because if your teammate is dead, then they're not farming, which means a fraction of your team isn't getting stronger, which makes the overall team that much weaker. But going back around and you having a farming flow, you want to have a routing pattern that makes sense for the current team you're playing against. If they're regularly pushing the bottom, your route should keep you within that area the majority of the time, because the bottom will be the most likely to need support. An aggressive push through the middle is ideal for a jungler, since they're free to roam on either side of the map, since it's the same distance to the middle. Build your route based on the mini-map and seeing how your teammates are doing and how aggressive the push is on each lane. Also, watch the leaderboards and look at the items and the skills the other team is using and how far along they are when it comes to farming. You need to know which players in the game are a serious threat, so you don't make the mistake of ganking someone who can shut you down without thinking twice. If everyone's doing their part, there should never be another player just clearly dominating like that, but it's still something to be on the lookout for just in case. So to recap quickly, to be the most effective jungler, you'll farm the jungle using a route best optimized to support the lane who needs the most help. You'll study the minimap and players to see who the threats are, and you'll go for ganks whenever possible. If you successfully gank someone and they go down, it's also alright to help get the tower down in that lane. You're really just there to support in any logical way that you can. Be sure to comment your feedback down below. I love hearing from you all. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, because it helps the channel grow and it helps more people get a little value from this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and join the notification squad. And if you'd like to know what I'm up to throughout the day when I'm streaming, or just to talk to me, be sure to follow me on social media. The links are in the description as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.